Hello and welcome back to Podium Pop. We have a very special episode today because it is our first birthday! Woo! We started Podium Pop a year ago and posted our first episode, and a year later we're still here. We're still kicking, we're still talking about motorsports, talking about a little bit more motorsports than we kind of, I think, ever thought we would.
Yeah.
So because this is our, 1 year anniversary, we are going to do an episode reintroducing ourselves. So we're going to talk a little bit about ourselves, our favorite,
it's our favorite
series
activity
we're watching. Oh yeah, of course. A little bit like our favorite drivers, all that jazz. So you can get to know us a little bit before the beginning of the season start. But before we get right into it, make sure you are following us on our social medias. TikTok. Who knows?
So follow us just in case.
Yeah, but make sure
on TikTok.
Yeah, definitely go over to our Instagram. I guess if TikTok stops being available in America, we will be heavily focused over on Instagram and Reels. And definitely stay tuned to our YouTube. We talked about it a bit last episode, but we are going to start some YouTube series. So stay tuned for that. Should we get started?
Let's go for it.
Let's pop the bottle and get into today's episode. All right. Who are you?
My name's Celine.
Hey.
Who are you?
Oh, I'm Gracie.
Gracie and Celine.
Tell us a bit about yourself, Celine.
Let's see.
Not motorsport, just some stuff you like.
Just some about me?
Yeah.
I'm just a girl who loves to watch race cars.
Okay.
I have 2 cats.
Mm-hmm.
What else do I say?
I don't know. Whatever you want. A bit about yourself.
That's pretty much me. Those are my 2 things that I focus on.
Okay.
I work when I'm not covering motorsports, I work as a recruitment manager.
Mm-hmm.
And I pretty much, I either work or watch motorsport or watch content about motorsport or think about motorsport.
There you go.
And that's pretty much my life.
I love that.
How old am I? 27.
27. Yeah, we're 27. Oh, God. We're going to be 28 this year. No, don't. 20 redacted. 20 redacted.
Yeah, it's fine. Tell us about yourself.
My name is Gracie. Of course, we're here because I love motorsport. I also have a cat. She's a little cutie pie. I rescued her from, she was about to jump into a dumpster and I rescued her. I also love NFL. I'm a lifelong Bengals fan.
Hooray!
They're unfortunately not in the playoffs this year. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm a little too sad.
Moving on.
But you can hear me talk about the Bengals every once in a while, especially during the season. Let's see. I love reading. I just got back into my reading era.
Well, you're doing a much better introduction than me. I also like reading in the Bengals.
Quick copy.
Gracie likes the Bengals a lot more than I do.
Yeah, I grew up, my family, I'm from the Cincinnati area, so I've been here for a while. It's kind of, I get all my sports tendencies, I think, from my father.
He must love McLaren.
Yeah. He knows nothing about it. He did text me that he was watching Abu Dhabi qualifying, and I texted him back, and I was like, this is what you need to know. And he hit me with a thumbs up.
Okay.
Which is like classic dad. We both live in the same apartment complex, so a lot of times if you catch us, we're hanging out.
Yeah. It is funny, we obviously do this podcast together,
mm-hmm.
and we post on TikTok and Instagram together, but I don't think people realize how often we're actually
mm-hmm.
together. Like, when we go grocery shopping, a lot of times it's together. When we hang out on the weekends, we have the same group of friends. Like, we're pretty much always together.
Yeah, we met. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, we met in college.
Mm-hmm.
We lived on the same floor.
Freshman
year, random assignment. But we didn't hang out a lot until sophomore year.
We were also in the same sorority in college.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then sophomore year we became friends. I had, no friends, and you said, hey, and I said, oh, thank God I need a friend.
The first time we ever hung out outside of, sorority stuff, we went to get sushi. It was also the first time we both tried sushi.
Yeah.
Which is a big moment for us.
It was a huge moment for us.
And now we love getting sushi together, so
mm-hmm.
it's just crazy how things happen.
Actually, that's kind of insane.
It is, yeah. We were friends all through college. We even lived together our senior year in a big house during COVID with 3 of our other best friends.
Yep.
Which was...
a time.
It was a time. And
like, there was nothing to do during COVID. You know what I wish I did during COVID? Watched Drive to Survive.
Yeah.
If I would have just watched Drive to Survive during COVID, I could have been here a lot earlier.
Life would have been so different.
Like, oh my God.
Who knows?
We probably would have been on, like, year 5 of the podcast.
Yeah, honestly.
We would not have come up with Podium Pop back then, I don't think.
Yeah, we probably would have had a really cringy name. Like, thank God we waited.
We would have had to rebrand for sure.
Oh, absolutely. But...
it would have been like Rick Nation Pod. Like, that's for sure what it would have been. Or like Lando's Lovers.
No, I don't think we would have been that bad.
No, we wouldn't.
Rick Nation Pod?
Sorry, that's just the first thing in my head.
It would have been scary,
Woo.
regardless.
Yeah.
But we got into motorsport. Well, I got into it in 2023.
2022. I got into it in 2023.
Whoa, I'm getting my ears. Whoa, that's kind of crazy. Yeah, so I started watching Drive to Survive in the summer of 2022, and I got really into it, but I didn't know anybody else that watched Formula One or any motorsport, really. So I was just quietly a huge, obsessive fan on my own. And then the 2023 season happened, and I kept trying to get Gracie to watch, and I kept bringing it up, and she would, like, sometimes, like, she'd watch some of the TikToks I sent her. She would kind of, like, be, you know... she'd let me, like, yap about it for a little bit, which was so nice and kind of her. And then finally, she texted me on a early morning in late August of 2023. Late August?
Yeah.
To tell me that she has decided to watch Zandvoort.
Which is, like, I've said this before, crazy work that I was actually awake on a Sunday that early to tune in.
I was shocked.
No, yeah, you caught me. I watched NASCAR growing up because my dad is a big NASCAR fan. I watched I don't 100% remember how it works, what I did. I watched the Sprint Cup Series, and I went to a few Sprint Cup, well, I guess I watched more than that. I went to Sprint Cup Series races. I went to the Kentucky Speedway, and I was a Denny Hamlin fan. He's still going strong, and I remember when I found that out, I was like, what? But then I kind of stopped watching motorsport, like, kind of high school, whatever. I was like, I'm too cool for that. And then, yeah, Celine came in and was like, watch. And then I remember the Max Verstappen song kept coming up on my TikTok, and I was like, hey, this is kind of catchy. I famously love, like, house music EDM. And then a video of Lando surprising children came up, or surprising fans, or, like, young fans. And I was like, yeah, well, all right, I'm hooked.
I'm into it.
And then you texted me at the start of Zandvoort. You were, like, telling me all these updates. You were like... because I remember I was like, yeah, if I was a fan, I would like Lando. And you're like, okay, that's McLaren. I said, okay. And then you were like, oh my God, McLaren, they got, like, screwed over because of the rain and the da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, I gotta figure out what Lando's doing.
Yeah, I gotta check on Lando.
I've got to.
No, it was just the best moment of my life when I actually knew someone that I could talk to about, and we haven't stopped yapping about it since then. Literally. So the rest of the 2023 season, we just watched every single race. Yes. Like, since Zandvoort, we have not missed watching a race.
I missed the 2 at the beginning.
Which 2?
I missed Bahrain and Saudi Arabia.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. And I guess we missed some of the races because we actually had, like, stuff to do. But it was difficult.
Yeah. Having to, like, because going into my first, obviously, like, one of them was going wedding dress shopping with a friend and a friend's baby shower. So, like, I wanted to be there. But I remember it was, like, the beginning of my first full season. I was like, damn, I'm missing the races.
Yeah.
Which I guess it was fine because it's still kind of the Max domination at the beginning of the season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But then it was over winter break between the 2023 and the 2024 season that we're like, should we make up? Like, we would literally, I'm not kidding, guys. We would get on FaceTime and, like, talk about motorsport for, like, 3 hours straight.
No, literally.
And then it was, like, right before we were, like, always joked, like, we should make a podcast. We're already talking about it. Like, let's just, you know, film it. And then eventually it got to a point where it was, like, the week that Gracie, she had COVID. Mm-hmm. So we didn't see each other for a full week. And I honestly, like, looked at, like, we had over 10 hours of FaceTime. Probably pushing, like, 15. 10 hours, or 15 hours in 1 week of us on FaceTime all talking about motorsport. No, and near the end of it, we're like, okay, let's plan. We're already talking. Let's just just plan this whole podcast. And we sat there and planned out what we're going to do for this podcast all in one night.
No, we did. It was 5 hours. I remember I like had a screenshot of the call. We planned out everything. We planned out the name. We planned out like episodes, when we were going to start posting, like the equipment we needed. And that's how we started our little journey. And here we are 1 year later.
Yep. And actually the day that this episode, we celebrated last Friday by decorating a cake. But the day that this episode comes out, so Monday, January 13th, is our official 1 year anniversary from when we posted our first episode.
We posted our first episode on Spotify, but we were a little too scared to post on YouTube.
We also couldn't figure out the technology part of it fully.
Yeah, it was like stuff, not YouTube, because YouTube's easy to upload to, but I think my computer. And we were also like, I'm too scared to upload to YouTube, but then we did, I think a couple days later, upload to YouTube. Yeah, our first Spotify episode was January 13th. How exciting is that?
That's crazy.
What do you think what's the biggest thing you've learned I just bumped the table, in 1 year of podcasting? About
actually podcasting? About
actually podcasting.
I think I learned how much work it takes.
Yeah.
It's hard. There are definitely, it's hard also because the races are on Sundays. And, Sunday afternoon, the last thing you want to do is, film a podcast. Yeah. But you want to make sure that you're filming it after the race. So because of that, we film on Sundays, we post on Mondays. And there are many Sundays where, whether it be that I am busy or I'm hungover or I'm tired or I'm just wanting a lazy day, there are so many times where I'm like,
we need an extra weekend day.
Yeah, we need a day that's just for filming, really.
Yeah, we also just we love going out, hang out with our friends. So, no, we need a day that's a rest day. That people talk about this all the time. A rest day, a clean day, and a productive day. Like a going out day. Yeah. We need that.
We need it.
Who do you get in contact with?
Yeah. You could. Yeah. Who do you get? The government?
God.
Yeah. Scotty Mac. But no, I think I just learned how much work it takes. Yeah. Even posting on TikTok and social media and all of the small things, they're all a bunch of small things, but they definitely all add up. Doing the admin side of things. Yeah. So yeah, learning how much work it takes, but will say that I'm just proud of our consistency, I think.
I am too, yeah.
It's so easy to just be okay, we're going to take a couple weeks off, or we're going to go a week without posting a TikTok, and there definitely have been weeks where we have slacked on making TikToks, or if there have been weeks where we're oh, we don't really have an episode for this week, let's skip it. I will say we don't have that many episodes skipped. Yeah. We've only skipped a couple. Yeah. We posted a day late. A lot. Yeah. Yeah.
It's also, I found it interesting how much we went into this, obviously we're wanting to, but it's just going to a job. Okay, Sunday, this is what we're doing. You know what I mean? It never was there have been things where I'm really tired today, whatever, where we don't post or we do a day late, but I don't know, I feel very easily adapted to the life of doing this.
Yeah, it feels like there's we skipped 1 week in between Christmas and New Year's. That was actually a planned skip. That's actually our only planned skip for the whole year. And when we planned that skip, we came back the week after to film, and I was man, I've missed this. It's never been I love it. I do, even despite having those days, they'll be by the next week I'm I'm just so passionate about it, and we really do just enjoy.
I love it so
Podium
much.
Pop, and it's literally pretty much the thing that goes through my brain when I wake up in the morning, and the thing that goes through my brain when I go to bed, other than my Smosh TikTok videos.
Okay.
But it's all I think about Podium Pop, and how I can grow and develop it, and
absolutely,
talk about motorsport. It's just great. I love it.
It's our little child.
It is. Looking at where it started is crazy.
No, it's so insane. And I remember the first time checking when we had first uploaded, and I recorded myself, and I was okay, I'm gonna go and check in and see how many views we have. The last time I checked, we had 2 views, and I remember obviously it was a bunch of our friends listening to the very first episode, and then I remember I reloaded and said 18, and I was freaking out. I was oh my gosh,
it's just crazy.
Yeah, it was so exciting.
What have you learned about podcasting this year?
I agree with you. It's really hard, and also a lot of it is time sensitive, specifically for like sports content posting, because like we've heavily focused on race recaps. That's what we love to talk about, and a lot of people are looking to watch a race recap the day of, the next day, like the next coming, especially if it's like a double or a triple header. Like, you want that content, you're gonna watch it, you're gonna digest it, and then you're gonna go into like the next weekend. So like kind of like timely posting it, or like when we go to races being like, oh, I want to get out this content from this week. Like, I feel like we sit down and then we're like, okay, let's get this out. And like, obviously it doesn't feel like a chore, but at the same time it's like, I feel like I'm like, oh, there's like a lot to it.
It's like rushing against the clock, too. Like, us doing this special, like, we were only a couple episodes in, and then the news dropped that Lewis was going to Ferrari, and, like, we were texting each other, and we were both at work when it happened, when the news dropped. Well, I was working. I work from home, but I was working, and she was at work, and we were like, we have to do a special episode tonight.
I was like, wait,
we gotta get it out.
And then we're like, yeah, no, wait, we have to.
Because at first we're like, oh my gosh, like, all this waiting until, like, Sunday, and we're like, we make the rules here.
No, yeah.
We're like, these are our rules. Yeah. Like, we get to decide everything, which I think also is just so special about having this podcast. Is like, we get to make the content that we want to make. Like, there's nobody telling us, like, oh, you have to, like, post this amount, and you have to post at this time, and you have to post this type of content. Like, we give ourselves those rules. So it's really easy for us to kind of, like, adjust the content we're making, too. Yeah, absolutely. Which it's definitely adapted quite a bit since we started.
Yeah. Better mic quality. I also learned that I really love editing. I edit the podcasts, and I don't know. I really like it. I enjoy it. It's kind of like therapeutic to me, like cleaning.
Yeah. I discovered my love for graphic design through this.
You're so good at it too.
I love making thumbnails. Like, I've never done graphic design. I do all the thumbnails on our YouTube channel. But I don't have like a background in graphic design. I did like visual arts in high school. But it's just fun. Like, it's a fun, silly thing. Like, I think I like it because it's not serious. Like, I'm editing like Charles and Max and like Survivor buffs. Like, there's like, it's like fun. Like, I don't have to make it perfect. It doesn't have to be like I don't know, like something that is serious. It's just fun. You know? It's just fun stuff.
Should we talk about what series we're gonna follow this year?
Yes, which we started out as purely Formula One. Yeah. Like, I would say the first like 3 months of content, 3 to 4 months of content was all Formula One based only.
Like, we at the end of the episodes, we would talk about IndyCar.
But that didn't even start until summer.
No, because I remember like talking about the David Malukas stuff and keeping up to date with that on the podcast.
When did that happen? May?
It happened before the year started. The David Malukas getting hurt?
Oh, we talked about... I thought you were talking about him getting his contract.
Oh, no. Like, him, like, getting... I remember keeping up to that and, like, Pato a bit.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I feel like we really started talking about IndyCar more after we went to the first road course race. So, I think joint, we are both doing Formula 1 and IndyCar.
Yes.
Those are, and those will probably be the ones we talk about the most, I would say. I personally am... going to keep up with F2 this year. I kept up with it a little bit in 2024.
She's our F2 expert.
I am our F2 correspondent. And Elms, just for Logan, and Clem if he does Elms.
Yeah. And Jamie.
I've heard about Jamie and Jamie,
I'm going to keep up with Elms this year as well. I'm focusing a lot on kind of getting to know like more like sports cars, so like Elms, and then also IMSA this year is something that I've recently become very passionate about. So, obviously, IndyCar, F1. Obviously, we're both also going to do Formula 1 Academy.
Yeah, oh, yeah, of course.
And then F2 is something that I like, but I don't watch the races, but I like to keep up with, like, what's happening. So, normally, Gracie just kind of gives me a recap on what's happening, or if something crazy does happen, I, like, go, like, look at the clip. But for the most part, Formula 1, Formula 1 Academy, IndyCar. I want to watch more Indy next this year too, but I don't think that's going to be like my priority. Like, I think new series priority is going to be Elms and IMSA.
Are they broadcasting Indy next for Fox, right? They are?
I don't know. I would hope so, because
I feel like that was part of
NBC or Peacock did too.
Peacock did. NBC didn't. Or like when they ran them in like USA or whatever.
Yeah.
That'll be very interesting. Okay, one thing, Formula 1 specific, we'll talk about this more in our prediction episode, but what rookies are you claiming?
I have 2.
Okay, me as
But
well.
I have a singular one, and I think we have a joint one.
Uh-huh.
So my singular rookie that I'm claiming is Ollie Behrman.
Mm-hmm.
I love Haas.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Ollie. I think he's a really great driver. So
yeah, absolutely.
I'm excited to see what he can do.
I really want to claim Ollie, but I love Ollie as well. But I am claiming Jack Doohan. Don't talk to me about it. Literally, don't.
Okay, Jack's gonna come and do great.
By the way,
then it's gonna
did
be like,
you see he shaved his head?
He did, yeah.
Someone on Twitter said
again.
What?
He shaved it again?
Yeah, he shaved it, like, it was posted today. Someone on Twitter posted a picture of both him and Pierre and said bald peen instead of Alpine.
Stop! Not bald peen. I hate that. I hate it, actually.
I hate it so much, but I cackled.
I don't like that. Liam Lawson also has a new haircut. Did you see that?
It was, yeah, good for him. It just looked a little silly in the clip I saw. No, I get what's going on with Jack. I understand that Alpine bought out Franco for so much money, rumored, and that Jack is allegedly on a tight leash. So
5 to 6 races.
5 to 6 races. So we'll see what happens with that. I am still going to cheer for him. I'll cheer for him for probably, like, if he moved to a different series, no matter what. And then Podium Pop, we love Gabriel Bortoleto.
Love him.
We love
so
him
much. I think he's a fantastic driver. He just won F2.
Yeah.
And I think that he is weirdly coming off from winning his F2 season. The fact that a lot of people don't know much about him at all.
Yeah,
like, people
absolutely.
know, like, Ollie and Kimmy a lot more than they know Gabby. What are the other rookies? Oh, they know Jack because of reserve driver.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're familiar with Liam and Franco. And another one they don't know is Isaac. People don't know Isaac, and people don't know Gabby.
I think people know Isaac more than they know Gabby, and I think in the beginning of F2, it was... I mean, Gabby had always been doing well, but, like, for the longest time, Zane Maloney was leading, and there were others kind of near the top, and then, like, he had steadily made his way up. Obviously, people knew who he was, but, like we're saying, like, majority of the masses. We're huge fans. Obviously, he came from the McLaren development program. I'm just so excited for him. I know it's going to be in a Sauber, but...
I think that... I think the good news is that, like, if he does really bad this season, I can't imagine them letting go of him before they can see what he can do once Audi and the new regulations come in.
A multi-year deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just know that this year might be rough for him, but I think it's going to be rough for Sauber in general. Then again, you never know. Things change very often.
Yeah.
And we won't really know until the first race and really into the season after that. But we're just big fans. Again, he came from the McLaren driver program, so we already were fans of him before.
Yeah.
But I just think that he's definitely one of the more
Very
underrated,
talented.
underrated rookies coming in.
Yeah, absolutely. So we will be shredding.
What were you trying to say there?
We will be sharing, I think.
Okay.
Finish
the sentence.
We'll be pushing the Bortoleto agenda.
Okay.
I don't know where the S came from.
Okay.
Anyway. That's like, if you're a new Podium Pop listener here, I famously mess up words all the time. So if you make a bingo card, you've got it.
You've got it.
You've got your bingo.
2025, mark that one off.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're
So on Friday, we actually went through the grid and did we ranked all the drivers.
Okay.
Should we go through it?
I would like to put a disclaimer that when we did this, I'm assuming you were as well, a little tipsy.
We had some wine.
So while it's all true, I definitely was pretty harsh about some of the things that I did.
I think we will just have to remember that, I still threw this for a loop. We're both searching for our lists that we made. These are our personal opinions, and everybody has them.
Yeah.
You don't like our favorite driver, and might not like your favorite driver. It's a sport. It's supposed to be, like, competitive like this.
Should I go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just gonna go, like, straight through my list.
Straight down the line.
Okay, so number 1, Oscar. Number 2, Lando. Of course, McLaren's at the top.
Absolutely.
Number 3, Carlos. As you all know, I am so into Carlos Maishela. Carlos Maishela Sainz is what I personally call it.
Stop it.
4, Max. 5, I have Gabby. 6, Alex. So both Williams are in the top 6. 7, Ollie. my other rookie. 8, George. 9, Jack. 10, Kimmy. So it's top 10 right there. Then we have 11, Fernando. 12, Yuki. 13, Lewis. 14, Esteban. 15, Charles. 16, Nico. 17, Isaac. 18, Lance. 19, Liam. And 20, Pierre. And that's for the pink camo Pierre. Ready for your
Pierre,
list?
you knew what you did.
You knew what
yes.
you did.
My, it goes 1, Lando, 2, Oscar, 3, Max, 4, Gabby, 5, Alex, 6, Carlos, 7, George. If you knew me last year, and I put George Russell in 7th place, you guys.
He probably would have been like 18, 19, 20 for you.
Yeah. Probably.
Crazy.
Newfound love for George Russell's right there. 8, Jack, 9, Ollie, 10, Lewis, 11, Yuki, 12, Kimmy, 13, Hulkenberg, 14, Lance, 15, Fernando, 16, Charles, 17, Isaac, 18, Pierre, 18, Esteban, 19, Pierre, 20, Liam. And we will be saving that. We'll do a mid-season check-in on those.
Yeah, because
for sure.
Famously, my top, like, 4 or 5 generally stay the same. But even then, from this year to last year, like, has shifted a lot. Like, there was a time where Carlos was, like, down in, like, probably, like, the 8, 9, 10. And now he's up to 3. Like,
Lance for sure would have been top 10 for me last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, like, Charles probably would have been top 10 for me last year.
I think I named Charles as one of my top 3 drivers last year.
I think so.
Yeah.
At least definitely top 4. Because
Yeah.
it was McLaren's, Max, and Charles for
Yeah.
you. So, you never know what's going to happen with our opinion. But pretty much constantly, McLaren's going to be 1-2 for us.
I feel like I like to say this. I'm like a 60-40 for Lando and Oscar. It's like I feel like I don't. And the main thing is like if they're battling on track, I feel like I just want them to keep it clean. You know what I mean? Whoever ends out first, like I feel like I'm not too upset by.
Yeah.
Like
I would say I'm 50-50, but I've said this many times that because I know Gracie is 60-40 to Lando, I tend to shift towards Oscar and do 60-40 because I want to make sure that Oscar feels equal from Podium Pop.
We even them out.
But I do think, Oscar and Lando interchangeable. Like, I'm just as happy when Oscar wins.
Yeah, absolutely.
As I am when Lando wins. And honestly, like, I really, genuinely, if it was like a McLaren 1-2, I couldn't care out of those two which one's higher up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unless it gets near the end of the season and then there's one of them is in more of a contention to win the Drivers' Championship. Then obviously that's when I kind of care, but I think that's normal.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Let's see our next category.
Our faves from other series too?
Yes.
Perfect.
Well, who are your favorites for IndyCar?
Okay, this is tough. For anyone that knows me, last year my favorite in IndyCar was Pietro Fittipaldi. There's still a chance he could be in IndyCar this year because Dale Coyne has not announced who their drivers are. I don't know. He will always be like, Pietro is like always going to be my driver.
That's your my Shayla.
That is my Shayla.
Yeah,
Pietro,
sorry.
my Shayla Fittipaldi.
Oh my God.
That is my Shayla. He's always going to be my favorite. So that's kind of like it's like I'm not even going to like, I don't even have to claim him as my favorite because he's like obviously my favorite and then I talk about my favorite. So other than that, last year I was a huge fan of Andretti. So I really followed Colton Herta. I really liked Kyle Kirkwood. I liked Marcus Ericsson fine. But I definitely liked Colton and Kyle more. And then who else did I like last year? Those were like the main ones that I followed. I obviously liked David Malukas because he's just like so Gen Z and relatable about things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think those were my faves.
Mine, they kind of stayed the same throughout the year. Mine is Pato, David Malukas, Marcus Armstrong, and then towards the end of the year, as you all know, big Kyle Kirkwood girl. Something happened in Nashville. And
something shifted in Nashville.
Yeah.
I like Pato, too. Obviously, Arrow McLaren, I'm happy when they do good because they're so close to McLaren.
Yeah.
They just stress me out with IndyCar. Stress me out.
Yeah, for sure.
And I definitely, I'm excited to kind of see what, like, Christian can do at Arrow McLaren.
Me too.
And Nolan, I think, is has the potential to do really good. I think this season's going to be really telling how he does.
Yeah.
But this year, I think I am really rooting for Meyer Shank.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's kind of a combination of me just getting more into, like, IMSA and sports cars and just kind of having that, like, team that's in both.
Mm-hmm.
But also, like, Marcus moved to Meyer Shank now. They're, I would consider, our, like, home team. They're pretty much the closest motorsport team to us.
Yeah, like headquarters-wise.
Headquarters-wise, because they're about an hour north of us. Hour and a half north of us. So I'm excited to see how they do this year.
Yeah.
I think they have a good driver lineup. I'm excited to see what Marcus can do with them as well.
I know, me too. I'll be very interested to see what he can do in that car. Do you have any F2 drivers you're going to follow?
Honestly, all the F2 drivers that I cheered on last year are now in Formula One, or not there anymore, aka Enzo. So sad. Who do I follow? Anyone else that's in? I don't even know who's in F2 this year.
There is, completely forget his name. There is an American in F2 this year, and I was a fan of Pepe last year, so Pepe Marti. I'll be a fan.
What is Zach Crawford in?
He might be.
He's American, right? He's from Houston, I think.
Mm-hmm. There's a new one though.
Oh, a new one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll probably root for Zach Crawford.
I'm not 100% sure if he's in. I haven't looked at the Fluker
Okay.
yet. I don't think the Fluker... It was either just finished or there's still a few open spots for F2.
Okay. Formula One Academy?
Formula One Academy, Leah Block and
Leah
Chloe
Block,
Chambers.
Chloe Chambers. I'm going to root for Ella Lloyd as well because she's McLaren's driver.
Absolutely.
Those are my top three that I'm rooting for. Well, also Dorian Pitt is amazing.
You can't root against Dorian.
You can't root against her. Like, I think her and Chloe are going to be really competitive this year.
I agree.
Well, obviously, I hope that Leah's up there with him. I think Chloe and Dorian were already so good last year.
Yeah.
And they had quite a few podiums, but, like, you couldn't really do much with Abby dominating like she did last season. So, such a good season to watch. But, yeah, that's who I'm rooting for Formula One Academy.
Mm-hmm. And then, like we kind of already said, we're going to keep up with Elms, ELMS. I'm going to keep calling it Elms.
I like Elms.
I like Elms.
People call it Elms.
Yeah.
It's not just us. Yeah, obviously,
we were
Logan.
big fans of Logan.
Jamie Chadwick. They're on the same team, actually.
Yeah.
And I heard so Clem isn't doing Inter Europol this year for Elms, but I heard from some people that spoke with him, I guess, that said that he's going to be on another team. It just haven't been announced yet, but it's coming close to the season starting. When does Elms start?
I don't know.
Like, they're already kind of starting, like, training and doing, like, the team meetings and all of that. So, hopefully we hear soon.
Or maybe he's just going full Podium Insurance.
Maybe.
Which, once again, Podium Insurance and Podium Pop
Let's collaborate.
Like, come on.
Yep.
And then you follow IMSA way more than I do. I don't really keep up with that at all.
Yeah. So, obviously, Pietro is doing IMSA this year, for sure. So, I'm obviously going to root for him. I wouldn't say that I'm a fan of Pratt Miller, which is his team, but I'm a fan of him, so by extension, I'm a fan of Pratt Miller. Mm-hmm. But as far as teams go, I'm a fan of... I really like Pfaff Motorsport. They're based out of Canada. Love them. For Daytona, James Hinchcliffe is driving for them. Last year, Alexander Rossi also drove for them because they have... their constructor is McLaren. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of ties there. I also really like Inter Europol. Mm-hmm. Both in Elms and in IMSA. And then I also obviously like Rexy. Who doesn't love Rexy?
Yeah, who doesn't love Rexy?
Like AO Racing with Rexy, Roxy, and Spike. Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Yeah. They do great work there.
That's like some of the greatest motorsport marketing. Truly.
Honestly.
It's so good.
I'm trying to think of who else in IMSA. I mean, those are the big ones for me. Mm-hmm. But a lot for, at least specifically Daytona, so many people are participating and so many familiar faces are participating that, like, I'll be rooting on, like, as far as the IMSA season, that's who I'm kind of focusing on, those teams like Pfaff and all of them. But as far as, like, the Daytona, like, there's so many other race car drivers doing it. Yeah. Like, there's 60-something cars and each car has 4 people on it. Yeah. It's insane. So, like, Scott Dixon, Scotty Mack is doing it. Colton Hurd is doing it.
Callum
Ilott is on Pietro's team, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So we're rooting for...
I forgot about that.
Ugly car. Callum.
I'm also a fan of Callum Ilott. I kind of forgot about Prema.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah, Prema's coming to IndyCar.
Yeah.
I'll be rooting for them as well.
Yeah.
But I'm really, really excited to get more into IMSA this year. I think it's one of those things that, like, I'm going to not really be able to tell you what my favorite team is until the end of the season because there's so many teams and they're so new to me that, like, I need to get a full grasp on them. But right now, yeah, that's who I'm rooting for.
That's so fair. Also, speaking of Prema and IndyCar, I remember I saw the rumor come about. Not a lot of people are talking about it, and we did talk about it on our podcast. Mm-hmm. I was like, there's a strong rumor going around about Prema and IndyCar, and then, like, I think like a week or 2 weeks later, it was announced. So, shout out to me for that one. Just had to put that on the map.
Great job.
Let's talk about the races we are planning on going to this year. I'm going to start this off by saying that Celine and a group of some of our motorsport friends that we've made throughout the year, like from TikTok and stuff, are all going to Daytona. I unfortunately cannot go. I'm a little bitter about it.
I'm very upset. This is going to be my first race without Gracie.
Not bitter. I'm just sad I can't go.
Yeah.
Because Daytona, we've talked about it before. Daytona was one of like the first things we covered on our TikTok. Loved Daytona. But I'm not gonna be sad about it. Well, I am sad about it.
You're gonna be. It's okay though. It'll be fine.
Thank you.
We're manifesting. It's fine.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be really sad going without Gracie. I have other friends going like Motorsport Marley, MJ, Andrea, Sarah, who's Paddock Princess, and our friend Ryan are all going, and we have a bunch of other friends that are gonna be there as well that we're gonna meet up with. A lot of them for the first time that I'm gonna be meeting them. So it's going to be really hard with Gracie not being there. I don't know what it's going to be like. I'm actually very interested, but I hope I never have to experience it again.
Fingers crossed.
But Daytona's, again, like, as a whole, a passion project for Podium Pop. It's very sentimental to us.
Yeah.
Just because it is, like, the very first thing that we covered on our TikTok. It's the first thing, like, new thing that we learned outside of Formula One.
Yeah, it was.
So it's just great that we're... at least one of us is able to go this year, but I wish you could go. I'm just as sad about it as you are.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, so Celine will be at Daytona in 2 weeks' time. Very exciting.
I'm so excited.
We are planning on going to the Miami Grand Prix. We went 2024, had literally the best time of our lives.
So much fun.
Even like outside of the race weekend was just so fun.
Trip that I will never forget.
Yeah, absolutely. And we live very close to Indianapolis, so we are planning on going to the Indy Road Course race. We will be at the 500, and I think we want to go to some international F1 races next year. So we fortunately, literally all on our own dime, went to 8 races I think this past year. So we're gonna try to go to Las Vegas, and we are going to try to go to Mid-Ohio. I forgot.
We're definitely going to
Mid-Ohio. Las Vegas for Formula One, and then hopefully Nashville, fingers crossed, for IndyCar.
So still, like, we are like saying how we're saving money, but like still kind of
we're still going to do a lot. But yeah, our big goal I think is for 2026 to be at Suzuka.
Yeah, that is. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
If I had to, like, look at my motorsport bucket list, very top of the list is Suzuka for the Formula One race. Like, I don't know what it is, but, like, like, when I dream about going to an international race, I'm at Suzuka.
I think my first one is Zandvoort, but I really, like, travel bucket list, Japan is also on there.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to try to do in 2026, like make it into a full trip, like go into Tokyo, go explore Japan, and then go to Suzuka.
Gonna be so
race.
cool.
I'm so excited.
I do think that Suzuka is farther up there because I haven't been anywhere in Asia. I was able to go to Europe. Obviously, I didn't go to Zandvoort because, like, other than for a Formula One race, I don't know if there's much to do in Zandvoort. But I think just experiencing, like, a whole new continent would be so cool. But I don't know what it is, like, about the track, about the fans seem so lovely. Like, I just I'm super excited. So that's our goal for 26. There's probably, I mean, there's probably going to be races this year that, like, I kind of want to try to go to another IMSA race, and that most easily will be done going to Indianapolis.
Oh, yeah.
So I might try to do that as well. I don't know. I might, like, fuck around and try to go to Petit Le Mans this year now that we're not going to COTA. I don't know. All up in the air. It's really dependent on just how the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, definitely. Gosh, I had something to say. Oh, those are, like, I think our wants for 2025, by the way. We have not booked anything. Miami is, like we're absolutely doing that.
Yeah, and Mid-Ohio we're absolutely
doing because it's very close. But yeah, so if you are going to any of those, let us know. We have said this so many times. Every single race we've gone to, we have either met friends there or made new friends. So if you're going to a race alone, let us know. Reach out to us. Like, seriously. I love it so much. Even, like, people who don't make motorsport content. Yeah. We have become friends with. Okay. What are you excited for this motorsport season?
I think so. Last year, we obviously started a year ago. But I feel like we really started, like, building our community after Miami and into, like, over, like, really Mid-Ohio is, like, the first time we kind of saw a huge, like, really felt our community the most outside of, like, you know, at a race weekend. So, and ever since Mid-Ohio, it's like we've been on this high, you know, of you know, what we've built from Podium Pop. So I think I'm really excited to see, like, what a full year of that looks like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, being able, like, already the first race of the year that I'm going to Daytona, like, we already have a group of friends that we all live in different parts of the country. Most of us all met through motorsport, like, content creation. And then being able to, like, kind of carry that in. We're going to meet some people there that I've never been able to meet. Like, I'm so excited to meet Dana.
I'm genuinely
so excited to meet Dana.
So upset I won't be meeting Dana.
I love Dana so much.
Daytona.
Dana-tona.
Dana, like, please, I hope you go to Mid-Ohio.
Yeah. But I think I'm just excited to see, like, what a full year looks like.
Yeah, for sure. I think I'm most excited to see how competitive the series that I'm following are going to be. Like, obviously, we kind of went into the Formula 1 season thinking it was going to be another Max domination, and, like, for the first 5 races it was. And then it was kind of just shaking up from there. And I'm really excited to see what Lando can do. I feel like there's, like, a lot of hype going around into him. Well, of the people that like him. And yeah, I'm excited to see that. Excited to see what Oscar can do, and especially those, like, I feel like towards the end of the year, those triple headers, we kind of struggled with McLaren. Yeah. So I'm excited to see how that is going to shake out. Yeah,
I agree. I think also this is a full year of us doing more than just Formula 1 too, like, kind of covering all racing series, and, like, also, like, even we did start covering IndyCar last year, and we, you know, did start talking about, you know, F2 last year. We weren't as, like, knowledgeable about it. So I feel like we're starting out this year knowing a lot more wheel than we did last year.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I think that's going to really help with kind of covering the races, but also just, like, being able to, like, form our thoughts and opinions about things. So I'm really excited about that as well.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Anything else we need to talk about?
I don't think so. I'm so grateful for the year that we've had.
Yeah, absolutely.
Podium Pop, like we said at the beginning of the episode, like, best thing that's, like, happened to me ever. And so it's just so fun that we get to do a whole nother year of it and on. Yeah. A multi-year contract signed right now, verbally.
Multi-year contract made by Podium Pop, signed for Podium Pop.
Signed for Podium Pop. Yep.
All Podium Pop. Very
Anything else?
Stuff. I don't think so. It is still winter break, obviously, for a lot of motorsports. So we have, like, some prediction episodes coming up. Celine will do an episode talking about Daytona. We'll kind of, you know, recap Daytona after that happens. And then I feel like kind of once February hits, like, a few drivers have already talked about, like, doing their winter training camp, the car livery, the F-175, that's what it's called, right? That'll be happening. We already had the Prema, like, car team launch. I didn't get to watch that.
I watched some of it.
Yeah, so
Will Buxton was there.
Will Buxton. Oh, yeah. Will Buxton, you guys could be going to Fox and signing on.
That's crazy.
As, like, the lead not the commentator. One of the commentators and like lead play-by-play person. Like
Yeah.
insanity if Will Buxton were to leave F1
Interesting.
TV or be on F1 TV less. I don't know.
Should I like try to do some investigating and ask James Hinchcliffe what the deal is?
I don't know.
Will that offend him? I don't think so.
I don't.
He probably doesn't.
I don't
even
think
know
it's the right
himself.
time.
I guess he is also going to be racing.
Yeah.
I can't talk about this right now.
No.
Yeah, I'll let it go.
Yeah. So I feel like a lot of like news and stuff is gonna start picking back up. More Alpine drama throughout the year. And yeah, so it'll be very exciting. We have those few episodes coming, and then I'm sure we'll be getting into some news and stuff and some other fun episodes to get us through this winter break. And only 60 days until lights out in Melbourne.
Ooh, that's crazy.
And then 53 days till lights out in St. Pete.
Oh my gosh.
So, very exciting. We're almost there. I feel like we're in the home stretch of this.
We can do it, guys.
Yeah. I hope you all enjoyed. Thanks for listening.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.